Thanks for watching the Daily Debate here on Nile TV International. And first of all, we extend our best wishes for our viewers and audience on actually the occasion of celebrating a new year 2017. This is our last episode in 2016. I hope 2017 is going to bring us all blessings and happiness and definitely peace and security and all flourishment for our country. 2016 was the year of Egyptian diplomacy. Egypt worked hard in 2014 and 2015 to regain its international role as well as its regional role, and this bore fruit in 2016. Egypt has won a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council and a seat in Peace and Security Council in the African Union that was starting its terms in 2016. And that reflected the trust of the international community has in Egypt, and also gave way for Egypt to express and expound the Arab and African causes challenges as well. Egypt put its relations with the African and the Arab brothers at the top of its foreign policy priorities. And President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had visited lots of world countries and participated in a number of world conferences this year, enhancing bilateral relations between Egypt and the outside world and stressing the foreign policy, which is definitely built on the basis of mutual interest and respect. Today we have all the honor of hosting with us His Excellency Ambassador Reda Farahat, former assistant to the Foreign Minister. Thank you very much, Excellency, for joining Nile TV and the Daily Debate today.
Thank you very much.
And today we're going to recap together the most important events, Egypt's foreign policy, and more on the show. So stay with us. Well, starting off, Ambassador Farahat, with more on achievements on the diplomatic front. 2016 is considered to be a year for the Egyptian diplomacy. Many achievements happened in 2016. If we could name some of them, Excellency.
At the outset, I would like to say that at the days of one of our distinguished foreign ministers, Dr. Asmat Abdelmegid, he labeled the Egyptian diplomacy as diplomacy for development. I hasten to say that we could safely say that what we have now is diplomacy for development and for peace, and for good neighborhood policies, and for opening up to the world, for diversifying our foci of interest. So, President, this diplomacy, we have a clever captain steering our boat, President al-Sisi, and he's doing his best to talk to the world that how Egypt is secure and safe for investment, for enhancing tourism, and so on. So I think he went to the Union of Russia, he went to even to European countries. He had excellent relations with President Hollande of France. He participated in the UN General Assembly.
Yes, those are some of the international conferences and activities that the President had attended himself, conveying Egypt's vision regarding many files. If we take some of the examples, the UN 71st General Assembly, a very important venue, where Egypt's vision was quite clear at this important venue, Mr. Ambassador.
Yes.
And also the AU summit in Ethiopia, to name a few, the climate change as head of the African Committee on that file as well.
The question is that the President is trying to call for international cooperation to combat terrorism, which is becoming a transnational phenomenon. Not all over the world, and he's calling upon the world to take this seriously, to come together Of course, there are some obstacles like which the UN system has been working on, like defining what is meant by terrorism, because terrorism, some construe the liberation movement as label it as terrorist. So the question is that that Egypt has is a regional power to reckon with, and that it is a pillar of stability in the world, and it is seeking political solutions for these problems which affects many parts of the world, in Syria, in Libya, in Iraq, in Yemen. So President Sisi has expounded his views, and I think he's gaining the respect of the world, and they are listened to carefully. Recently, he had a phone call from the President-elect Trump,
right,
which is a testimony to the importance the United States attached to Egypt.
Right. Africa is considered to be on top of our foreign policy priorities, and this has been also illustrated definitely during this year quite well.
The fact is that our diplomats have been present in Africa. We have many missions and embassies and consulates, and we used to extend technical cooperation to the African countries. There was a fund affiliated to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for technical cooperation with Africa. Now it has been widened to embrace other places, and it's called the Agency for Partnership
and Development. Yes.
And we have we regained our place in the African Union, and even we have.
And we shoulder the responsibility of actually putting African issues and the challenges on the international arena, definitely. So how far did we really succeeded in that, you know? Bringing African voice in international forums and organizations, before international organizations?
We have, as member of the Security Council, we espouse the cause of African countries. We call for non-interference in Africa. We participate in peacekeeping missions, and we have, as I said, ongoing cooperation. But what we need is to reactivate. So what we have now is what you call proactive diplomacy, as opposed to reactive diplomacy, that we take initiatives, that we go to these, we have the summits and so on.
Right.
And there are, Africa has many strives in Somalia, in Cameroon. So we should join the wise men of Africa to.
Yeah, definitely seeing eye to eye with the wise men of Africa in conveying this important message. And this has happened during the visits that were carried out by the President during 2016.
With a focus on the Nile Basin countries.
Definitely.
The rights
Yeah. The president also widened the scope of relations with the different countries. We found many visits actually taking place, the visit of the Chinese president, the fourth trilateral meeting that was very successful, the trilateral meeting Egypt, Greece and Cyprus, the Asian visit to Kazakhstan, Japan and South Korea, so widening our relations. Africa with Asia, Egypt was everywhere, his visit to India.
Yeah. The president is looking for diversifying the relations with the rest of the world and not only concentrating on the U.S. with which Egypt has strategic relations and the European Union, but is reaching for the emerging powers, reaching to China, to India.
Yeah, and the emerging economies as well.
And the emerging economies. So what we, the message is that Egypt is safe for you to visit, to invest, and that we are ready to cooperate with you for our mutual benefit.
Yeah, and the foreign policy actually reflected that, reflected our national interests, describing Egypt's relations with the outside world and taking Egyptian-American relations. That has been, you know, definitely we saw the first phone call to congratulate President Trump.
Yes.
It came from President Sisi. Trump said how he respected the president and definitely respected his vision. Vis-a-vis also Arab relations, Egypt was at the forefront. In Africa, we are at the heart of Africa and shouldering the responsibility in that respect. So those are considered to be real gains for the Egyptian diplomacy in 2016.
Yes, what happened is that the Egyptian-American relations witnessed a slowdown during the days of President Obama. And some argued that they wanted the old regime to continue, that they were propagating the theory of creative chaos and so on. However, the traditional position of the Americans was that they are careful, they want the stability of the area, they want safe supplies of oil at moderate prices. So I think we could witness a warming up of relations. You know, it is the debut, the beginning of a process. However, we have to wait and see, especially that some ideas of the president-elect do not coincide very much with the Arab interests.
However, that was before his ratification, yes, during the campaign and not after he was elected. A new UN chief was also chosen, so there would be expectations from the UN as a world body as well.
The UN system reflects the will of the victors from the Second World War. And the non-aligned movement at one time, they called for an equitable, just international economic order, and also just information system, information order. However, there is the classical idea that these developed countries, they don't do enough to help the developing countries which they colonized before.
Right. But however, we are moving forward on more than one track, Mr. Ambassador, concerning launching. The time has come for launching new alliances. and that has been witnessed. So the world definitely is perceiving the role of Egypt as a very important partner today.
Yes, that is very true. But you have to look also into the world scene, what happened with the UK, the Brexit, and that the rise of the nation state with the prospect of some countries could opt out of the European Union, and the fact that the slogan of the American president-elect is the United States first. We have to take into consideration the climate of ideas. You know, Samuel Huntington spoke of, he has his thesis of the clash of civilizations, and you have the phenomena of terrorism and linking it with radical, what they call radical Islam, the Islamophobia, whereas we have one of the pillars of our diplomacy, and this is happening, is Al-Azhar al-Sharif. We have
Definitely.
we have to
a very important role to play by Al-Azhar.
Yes.
In that respect, especially in approaching the brains of the youth, you know.
Yes.
Those, we should never permit any sense of any sort of brainwash. And Al-Azhar has a very important role to play in that respect.
Quite, because Al-Azhar has to tell the world that Islam calls for tolerance,
perseverance,
and
patience,
all
definitely.
these values. And this, what is happening is alien to Islam. It is against the teaching of Islam. So I think the institutions of the state, there is not only the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
We have also Egypt's soft power, which is also working hand in hand with the Egyptian diplomacy, and we do have the role of popular diplomacy as well.
Popular diplomacy or public diplomacy.
Yeah.
Yes, I was coming to that. And the role of the civil society, we have the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs.
Definitely is working also hand in hand to vis-a-vis the vision that is marketed.
Because there is quite a role for the think tanks in America, in Europe, and so on.
Addressing the West, Mr. Ambassador, and this has really happened, and it is continuing to happen with the role played by think tanks and intellectuals affiliated to not only as statesmen, but also regarding popular diplomacy and public diplomacy, and through intellectuals themselves. And they're visiting countries, and as they say, they do say, seeing is believing, you know. So this happens, and this is in fact promoting also our vision and our foreign policy, isn't it?
Yes, but you have to, the parliamentarians.
Yes, the parliamentarian visits.
On the different levels, and there is the role of our information, the media, Egyptian
definitely.
media. And so it is an all-embracing activity. And we have now a constructive approach. We have the IMF coming to extending loan to Egypt. This is a testimony, of course, of that our economy is sound and is taking courageous steps to restructure the economy. And this would be conducive to direct foreign investment, and assuring the world that our airports are safe, that the terrorist individual attacks is a fleeting phenomenon. We are going to prevail there, and
definitely,
this
and
is,
also with the Egyptians' sense of awareness, you know,
yes,
defending this country.
yeah, our country deserves better, and we have to fight this phenomenon, and we are doing that.
Yes, definitely.
However, terrorism is not confined to Egypt. It is
No, it's just a worldwide phenomenon. It's everywhere.
Yes. So we have to now. In the vicinity of Egypt is the Libyan problem, and this is of immediate importance. And I can see that Egypt is trying to reconcile, to bring together the different parties,
Yes.
and calling for arming the national armies.
Yeah. And our support, of course, for the Palestinian cause throughout the years. Yeah.
The Palestinian cause is rather complex, but the idea is that the Palestinians, they have the guts to say no to unjust compromises, the solution of the two states, they has been witnessing a setback with the extension of the settlements. But what happened at the UN Security Council is a moderate step, but it is something which heralds some change and awareness of the world community
towards the Palestinian issue. Mr. Ambassador Nabil Badr is with us over the line. Excellency, thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you. Ambassador Badr. Hello. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me? Okay, we'll get back to Ambassador Badr as soon as we have the call. The president also received in 2016 his French counterpart, François Hollande.
Yes.
And it was a very cordial meeting where the two leaders discussed and saw eye to eye on many issues regarding developments in the region in general, and also they coordinated concerning the fight against terrorism. So distinctive relations has always been binding both Egypt and France.
Yes, don't forget the role of the French scientist in the expedition, how the stone, the Rosetta Stone, and
throughout history,
and the ties, cultural, and Egypt has been the crossroads. Many invaders came and went. Sometimes they have some positive side in influencing our culture, and we interacting with them. So France has been forthcoming, and we also exchanged with them
promoting cooperation in many fields, renewable energy, natural gas, also on the economic side. Yes.
That Theresa May also sent a letter to the president.
Right.
And but hopefully they won't. They would cancel the warning that the British tourists would come again.
It is actually overflowing, and I guess 2017 is going to witness a boom in Egyptian tourism.
And the Russians
are coming, definitely. By the end of the year, and as we approach the end of the year, the president received the visiting Djibouti president, Omar Gili, and they asserted Egypt's keenness on coordinating and consulting with Djibouti on more than one front and on challenges in the Horn of Africa as a whole.
Yeah, Djibouti has a strategic position in the Horn of Africa, and there is this idea of having a highway from Djibouti to the Mediterranean, floating some ideas. But I think this is very important, and the world powers, they pay attention to Djibouti. So this is a bright point, a glimpse of hope that our African, we have our, we have a lot of sympathizers in Africa, from dating back to the days of President Nasser, and helping the liberation movements and so on. And also he had the Nasr Company, which had many shops, many centers in the African world. Even in tiny African countries, you can find medical doctors, agronomists. You find sheikhs to spread Islam and the language, training of the police forces, visiting.
And we
generals.
also provide training for parliamentarians also with our rich parliamentary life.
Yes.
You know, Egypt celebrated in 2016 a very important conference marking 150th anniversary of the Egyptian parliamentary life. And that was held in Sharm el-Sheikh. And it was attended by also world leaders and by lots of dignitaries. So Egypt also is contributing in that field, the parliamentary life in brotherly Arab nations as well.
Yes, of course, we have completed the roadmap. We have our parliament, we have our elections. We are doing more to democratize the situation. So we are on the right track.
Definitely, and 2016, as we all know, has been also a year that was dedicated for the youth. And we took very good steps in that direction, engaging the youth in the decision-making process, and we had them back. The first National Youth Conference that was held for a 3-day was mainly under the auspices of His Excellency the President, and it was, you know, from the name of the conference itself and the slogan, like innovate and advance, focusing mainly of how to focus on the youth sense of creativity and innovation. Those are the treasure for Egypt. So working on innovation and the youth and working on creativity definitely was a plus in 2016.
Yes, addressing the problems of the youth, creating jobs, the introduction of mega projects that in the long run, at the end of the tunnel, there are good things to come.
Definitely. We have also many other important events happening. We have leaders coming and visiting, a high-profile South Korean delegation comprising representatives of the South Korean Federation, for instance, of small and medium industries, that participated in a very important forum, the Egyptian South Korean Business Forum. We had the president receiving the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, the first of its kind in the region. And it has been a very important milestone where the Chinese had addressed the newly Egyptian elected House of Representatives. So Egypt is opening up to the whole world, and diversifying relations was considered to be a very important fruit in 2016, right, Mr. Ambassador?
Right.
Yeah. What else do you consider a milestone that has happened for Egyptian diplomacy in 2016?
What happened was that we are tackling the problem of the Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia, and there has been attempts, declaration of intent. There has been some looking into the interest of the countries overlooking the Nile. This is one thing. The other thing is that we are receiving some good news about the enhanced relations with the Far East.
Right.
And
and Europe, of
Europe,
course, yeah.
Europe.
We had also witnessed the visit by Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. They held talks, the Hungarian side held talks with the president concerning cooperation in the different domains. Egypt is opening up to the whole world. The trilateral meetings, the president receiving the Cypriot president and the Greek prime minister, this has also been a milestone, and we're looking forward to more definitely in 2017 out of those trilateral summits.
Yeah. To forge alliances with like-minded countries, with like-minded civil societies, think tanks, with well-known, the columnist, the journalist that they see for themselves. And we look forward to a role to be more active from regarding the information authority. Would like to see more.
Right. Definitely seeing more. Receiving also Singapore's president was a very important meeting where he met with President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and both agreed on expanding bilateral cooperation, setting a number of cooperation projects and enhancing cooperation with Singapore. Well, the whole world came to Egypt. The president held talks also with Sierra Leone's president, during which he asserted Egypt's interest in upgrading bilateral relationship on all levels, receiving Togo's president. 2016 was a very rich year, actually, for the Egyptian diplomacy at large, Mr. Ambassador.
The African countries consistently supported the Arab causes.
Right.
But they have expected more. They suffered from the skyrocketing prices of oil, and they expected more by way of assistance. Egypt is doing its best to assist, but and also there is Arab funds, but the Arabs should do more. Africa is a virgin continent, and it could be the breadbasket of the area, and therefore more has to be done, not only on the part of Egypt, but also the Arab countries. They should come to the field and help.
Excellency, if we wrap up by saying more concerning our ambitions in 2017, and we have achieved a lot, lots of milestones for Egyptian diplomacy in 2016. What would be the set of our priorities for 2017?
Our priorities should be how to improve the living conditions, to raise production, more production, activating the factories which were dormant because of the upheavals, and that we should be recovering and giving a message of peace and tolerance to the whole world.
We do, giving a message of peace and tolerance. Egypt is always eyeing peace and development. And I thank you so much, Excellency Ambassador Reda Farahat, former assistant to the Foreign Minister, for joining us on the debate tonight. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And
thank you very much.
Happy New Year to you, Excellency.
Same to you, yes.
And I thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. That was the daily debate for tonight, and Happy New Year to all of you, our viewers.